So you are or were being blindfolded from the truth of something for the sake of your own protection in some way. And this could be like the universe did this, or a person specifically did something so that you would not be like implicated in something, you know? I don't know if it's as serious as like, you know, somebody omitting certain truths so you won't be an accomplice in like a crime. I don't really think it could be that. It could be anything, you know. Anyone could see these messages. But it is also giving that like somebody may be doing something for you in your favor that like it is better that you don't know the logistics of how it's unfolding, because like they want you to be innocent if you're asked about it later, you know. All these messages can be controversial, so like, but they just have to come through the way that they're meant to. And I don't know, try not to be judgmental about other people's experiences, because there's a million different life paths or whatever. Because like I'm not judgmental, you know, but I'm picking up on something that could have to do with like um somebody hiding like a messy ending to a relationship from you, so that like nobody can say that you knew about something or whatever. So I guess I'm like exposing it now. I am just getting that it's like for the sake of your protection. If it has nothing to do with that in particular, it could have to do with like, hold on. Say somebody was betraying you pretty ferociously or whatever, and like no matter what you did to try to uncover evidence of it, you just could not find anything even though it actually happened. It's almost like the proof would have been so devastating that I don't want to say it would have like given you a mental breakdown, but it is giving like it would have worsened the healing process to know about it beforehand or something like that. Because I feel like you may have released the situation anyway, but you know what I mean? It's something that like came to a natural conclusion anyway, or like it has already ended, but you didn't need to know the logistics of it, because you would not have been able to function if you knew the truth in some way, if that makes sense. This could also have to do with like, and I'm sorry if this is, I don't know, like spirit's always like telling me stuff. I don't know, but this is important, I think. But it could be even a family member like hiding an illness because they don't want you to be in despair about it. And I think that like the reason why it's being exposed like now through me is sometimes people can do that for the sake of like not wanting to be treated different while they're ill, or like again like wanting to protect the emotions until it's too late. But sometimes like the family members or the people who care for them would prefer to know, so that they can make the most of the time that they have left or something like that. So it could have to do with that too. It could also have to do with somebody relapsing and not telling you about it, especially if you are somebody who's like in recovery in some way too. I keep getting like this could have to do with like an eating disorder too, not necessarily like a alcohol or drug addiction, but it could have to do with anything, right? But and it doesn't have to be bad either, but I'm not getting it it's like a surprise or anything. It just kind of is giving that somebody wants you to be maintain like an innocence in regards to your perspective about something, which could leave you feeling like very confused. It also could have something to do with like, you know, you may be used to connections or something where people are always trauma dumping on you, or like or trauma bonding or whatever, or like treating you like a therapist, or there is like a lack of boundaries in regards to like emotional expression, you know. Like you could be used to people just openly expressing what they're going through so that you guys can like share the pain together or something like that. And it's giving like this could be somebody who's changed that habit and behavior, or somebody new, right? New connections who just handle things differently and you're not used to it. But it's like somebody who's going through or has gone through some really really traumatic stuff, but they don't want you to know about it. I'm getting a lot. So this could even be like if you're a masculine and you're like getting to know somebody new or whatever, and you could be like, oh, are they hiding something from you, blah blah blah. It could have to do with like they have an ex that's literally like threatening them or like abusive to them in some like really harsh way, and they don't want you to get involved or feel like they're trying to make you be involved. But it's like it's something like that. You know, someone like protecting you from needing to share the emotional weight or burden of what they're going through. It's also giving like someone lying for a good reason. So say that like this is kind of odd. You may not be used to this sort of energy. It's giving somebody who like lies about their childhood being more pleasant than it actually was, because they don't want you to have a negative perception of them having like childhood trauma, because they may think that that would like make them less perfect to you in some way. And I don't know, it doesn't have to just be a masculine energy, but I am kind of getting like a masculine energy who maybe, I don't know, was literally like raised in an orphanage, or was like, you know, like hurt by their parents and stuff like that, but instead they kind of like frame things as if they had a really like joyful, pleasant, loving household and stuff like that, because they don't want you to think that they are like damaged and would be a bad spouse or something like that. I'm also getting this like applying to a pet, even could be hiding that they're sick. I hope it isn't, and this is not me projecting or wishing anything. This is more of like an awareness thing to keep an eye, I guess. um you know, not for the sake of paranoia. This would just be confirmation. But if it has to do with a pet, just like if you're worried about them, just check on them a little bit. But yeah, I guess it is heavily giving like somebody putting on a brave face because they don't want to trigger you. um and I know that like I know a lot of us or whatever have really strict boundaries about deception and manipulation and stuff like that. But it is, the energy today is giving like somebody, I don't know, it's sort of like somebody lying, but lying to protect you. You know, and you could be like, oh well, how do they know what I need to be protected from, blah 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 blah. They could perceive that you're like going through a lot already, and they in no way want to give you more, like they don't want to put more stress on you. And it doesn't have to be something that's that severe. It could just be somebody who like has a tendency to play off how sick they are, you know, and then they eventually like, you know, they may just be like, oh, you know, I just have a cold, I just have a cold, I just have a headache, and then they eventually go to the doctor, and then they have like pneumonia and stuff like that. I would say especially grandparents, check on them. I think that whatever the energy is, just like someone like putting on a brave face. um Especially, ooh, hold on, I was getting something else. I'm also getting that like somebody who wants to divorce somebody else, uh who played happy through the holidays, just for the sake of like the holidays, because not they're not wanting, like they're not so malicious, they don't like have so much hatred in their heart for the person that they want to divorce, that they wanted to like ruin the holiday season for them, right? So it's like they waited until the holidays were over to now, like, you know, I'm getting, they're trying to like beat the punch to Valentine's Day, right? So like I'm sorry if this is like you, or if this is gonna happen to you, or if this is like somebody around you. Again, I was kind of picking up a bit of like messy relationship dynamics and stuff like that. Delays in connections, or like confusion in regards to connections that aren't as like cut and dry as somebody being a commitment phobe. It could just be that like somebody was separated and they want to wait until they're fully divorced to pursue you or something like that, but they wanted to wait to hand the papers off until after the holiday season, but before Valentine's Day, which is like now. But yeah, this whole message has been kind of messy, but hopefully it helped you in some way.